Hello, Aaron Shiner here, and welcome to another video in the Pro Agents training series. I'm really excited to be making this video today, and our mission is simple. We want to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be. So you're probably thinking, what's next? Step number one, watch the video we're about to cover. Step number two, download the course notes below so you can pick the things that resonate most with you and start implementing. One thing is watching, the next thing is doing. I'm really excited. Let's get started now. So we're going to be looking at the importance of why in this video, and I think it's one of the most underrated and most overlooked training aspects in the real estate industry. Everybody's fast to want to know the best listing skills, the best scripts and dialogues, the best buyer management, but when it comes back down to the importance of why, what makes us do what we do? And I think it's interesting because, we all know what it takes to be successful. In theory, subconsciously, we know what it takes, but then why don't we get to the office every single day and pull the trigger like we know we should? And it comes back to me thinking, well, why is that? Why do some of us achieve extraordinary results in our 24 hours in the day and why some of us don't? I think real success happens when our why, our reasons to do it, get bigger than our excuses not to do it. So I'm just going to break down exactly how I've discovered my importance of why and how that links back in. Because let's face it, you're going to watch these videos, you might get a shot in the arm, and that's good motivation. But what we know is this: bad stuff happens in real estate every day. Deals fall over, plans don't go to place, and for me, it's knowing that importance of why which keeps you back on track. But here's the good news. Once you figure out your why, and that might be to give your kids the best schooling education, it might be to take your kids on a holiday overseas to Disneyland. I don't know what it is for you, but once you figure your why out, that's when bad stuff's gonna happen. And we all know that a vendor might call you and say, hey, we appreciate the opportunity, but we've changed our minds, or you're shooting for that potential listing and you didn't get it. But once that stuff happens, we know that our why is bigger so we can get back on track. So take a minute and really think, why am I doing this? Why am I getting up? And why am I sacrificing where I am right now to do this thing called real estate? Because here's what I know. Once you tap into your why, the whole way the game is perceived changes, and you get this shot in the arm like you'd never believe. And here's the interesting thing, right? Let's talk about motivation compared to discipline. Motivation for me is just that shot in the arm where you go to a seminar, you do some training, and you become really excited and you're jumping around, and that motivation lasts for a week, maybe 2 weeks at best. For me, it's not about motivation, it's about discipline. The discipline is doing the things you should be doing even when you don't feel like it. And that's what the importance of why will be able to do for you, because there's going to be days where you don't feel like making your 30 or 40 prospecting calls. But here's the thing, motivation wears off. But once you know your why and you've got that discipline actions, that's when you push through and you're doing what a lot of other agents in the industry won't. So here's the thing, I can hear you saying, yeah, I've heard it all before. I've heard this importance of why. I know I should do it, but I'll do it later. Can I urge you? Can I say this? Don't do it later, don't do it tomorrow, don't do it next week, do it today. After this video, take 5 minutes and say, hey, why am I doing this? Because here's what I know. The first step is the most important step. For yourself, it could be you want to buy a new house, or you want to get an investment property, and that big picture does seem daunting and it does seem so far away. Here's what I can promise you, and it is simply this. You start today, you do a little bit more tomorrow, and a little bit more the next day. 3 months, 6 months, 12 months from now, you're gonna look up and you're going to see exactly how far you've come. But it all comes down to this: you can't hit a bullseye unless you know what you're aiming for, and the importance of why is going to allow you to nail it every single time. So here's an observation after working with multi-million-dollar performers in my 14 years of real estate. They are constantly obsessed about getting better, looking at all the areas around them and saying how they can make them, an 8 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 in listing, a 7 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10 in vendor management, whatever it is. And an old mentor of mine told me many years ago, compete against other people, you get bitter. Compete against yourself and you get better. And the best of the best in our industry today are constantly obsessed with improvement on how they can improve their own systems, and more importantly, they're constantly tapped in to that importance of why. So here's a question for you. What would you do if you weren't afraid. Go and do that thing. Take a minute out, go and write that down and go and action it, because here's what I know from my own experience. We always put off the things we want to do the least, but once we do them, they're the things that make us feel the best. You know, it's called eat the frog. Do the thing you want to do least first in the day. So here's the exciting news. Doing the things that you want to do least first is going to really help you develop a whole new level of skill sets, and that's going to help you close the gap from where you are to where you want to be. So here's a final question for you. If I could wave a magic wand right now, what would your next 12 months in real estate look like? What would have you achieved? How many listings would have you got? How many sales would have you made? Now, I just want you to take a moment, get really clear on that, and let's start to make that happen so the next 12 months we can make the best year ever. Well, there you go. Hopefully you got some real value from today's video. And the good news is the course notes are ready to go. All you've got to do is get started. So don't forget, taking action is going to be the thing that helps you get the results you're really after. So I've enjoyed making this video for you, and also keep an eye out for the next video in the Pro Agent series coming soon. Take care. Aaron Shiner here. Bye for now.